Yeah, man. Thank you for being here today.
No
Uh,
problem. No
I mean,
problem.
you're you're a man that needs really no introduction from what Shuli Network, from Leveland, from Out of the Coffin, from everywhere. The great Bob Levy. Thank you.
Yeah, we're taking over the world,
Thank
isn't it? It's fun.
yeah,
Isn't it? It is fun to be able to do this at home, isn't it? Like you don't have to go anywhere. That's what I love about this, because I always dread even doing stand-up gigs. Like the drive is everything that's a pain in the ass. I-
yeah, yeah.
I- If you can just get people to come to your house to do the comedy for them, it would be so much easier.
The commute. Yeah, it. That's how a lot of the issues with wrestlers and stuff too,
Oh
right?
yeah,
You're just
yeah.
like an old school wrestler.
But they're crazy. You know what I mean? I did that shit. I did that with comedy at the beginning where I would drive to fucking Buffalo and drive to Canada, and just crazy. Drive to South Carolina. You're like, what the hell? After a while, you're like, this is crazy.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know you're doing it for the love of it, but you wonder if it's worth it as
Well,
far as
it's worth it. It was worth it at that point if you drove. You know what I mean? Flying was a different thing, but now you just say, "Look, I'm not doing it unless you fly me in and everything, is taken care of."
oh yeah,
So
and
it's just like anything else. You know what I mean? It's like people will fuck you until they can't fuck you, and that's truthfully, it's like anything else, and especially in any kind of business of comedy or whatever, people will
and you've
fuck
been
you.
how long have you been doing comedy for like
Geez, it has to be. I would say I'm thinking 86, 88. I started. I mean, 30 something years. I mean, it's a dream and it's a nightmare.
yeah, no, I'm sure there have been hardships and all that and uh bit ups and downs, I'm sure,
Yeah.
especially in a length of time that long. Did you always want to do comedy? Or there
No,
yeah.
I just didn't want to do landscaping anymore and painting uh, houses and like even in the winter we used to paint like the welfare houses in Manhattan. There was big apartment buildings, so in the winter we would just go and do those jobs, and people wouldn't even get out of their bed. And we had to throw tarps over people that were sleeping and paint and chip away. It was all falling apart, but it was such a scam that the city was paying so much money to get these places. You know what I mean? It was just everything was corrupt.
Yeah, yeah, it's nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. The whole
Yeah,
damn world's still corrupt too. I'm seeing though,
yeah.
like, I mean, but you've got a huge fan base now. It sounds like, and it sounds like great. You're what, like a vampire? Is that what you are?
I'm a lot of things, but a vampire mostly. Yeah, but like is it a huge fan base? I don't think so. I know what like when I was on Howard at that time, regular radio, and then just going it was huge then, because you were all over the world. Even though you're all over the world now, it's like people got to find it. You know what I mean? It happens over
Hmm.
time. You just got to keep at it at anything. And it'll hopefully people come in and they stay. That's the whole thing. It's like that's why you have to be on all the time because you don't know when somebody new is going to pop in and check you
Hmm.
out for the first time. So you better be fucking pounding it. The show should be pounding the whole time because even if somebody comes in for 3 minutes and they're like, "This is nothing," and they're gonna leave. So it's like
Yeah,
always be fucking pounding, and then if anybody pops in, they'll be like, "Hey, I'm gonna check that out again." That guy's insane.
yeah. Well, shoot. Oh, yeah. Your fans. I guess you are more. It's like a devoted fan base rather than a huge fan base. I'll say that. But
Yeah,
yeah. You're pounding the iron while it's hot at constantly. I see you everywhere, and
yeah.
it's just like, man, the man. How does this man have that much energy? He must be undead or something. Or
Yeah,
is that?
but it's that, and it's the love of doing it. Like, there's no more joy than making people laugh, to change their direction of their day if they start off in a bad day or something like that. Because everybody goes through shit, whether it's just in your life or it's mentally. There's no doubt about it.
Mhm.
Everybody's been through fucked up shit, and it's nice to be able to, when you do get those emails or inboxes that people say that, how much it changed the way that they were feeling that day or something like that, or how do you get off the drug? How do you do this? Like people come to me, I smoke weed and I drink, but they ask me how to stop because I was able to do it.
Mhm.
And I'm in control of it now. A lot of people can't stay in control. I tell them, you can't do this, what I'm doing, because you'll fall apart. Because most people, just a little taste, they go right back. You can't control it. That's the whole thing. It's a mental thing more than anything else.
Well, yeah, and everyone's different. It's a person to
Hmm.
person thing. You can't do one basic prescription to every human.
No.
It and it has a lot to do with not only your physiology of your body, but your will.
Hmm.
The will to do it, and it's a lot than just tell me the secret to
Well,
doing
that's
it.
why you have many secrets, and you say maybe this one will work for you because there's many ways. Because you can't, like you're saying, you can't give somebody a pill that's going to not everybody's not this. Everybody might have a touch of the same problems. They can tell but the pill doesn't work on somebody's mind the
Yeah,
way it's supposed to. It just doesn't do it. So it's like it sounds good at the beginning, but then when you fall in, you think you're feeling good, but then it destroys you. It destroys you. These a lot of these pills that you're not meant to be. You should be able to take over what your problems are by yourself and figure them out instead of getting a pill that's going to change you into something you're not now. And then you have to restart again as that, and you don't even know what the fuck you are.
yeah, yeah.
Eh,
You don't know what you were from the beginning because you've changed. I don't know. You're absolutely right. I know I take a lot of pills
Yeah,
because I'm pretty mentally messed up. I have trouble going places. But then, like you said, it hurts and it helps that we can do this from home. And why even
yeah.
why even leave anywhere and go anywhere?
Yeah, I mean, people definitely need to like. I think a good show would be for people to actually come on and talk about like shit like this, so people know, how to kind of deal with shit. Like people don't know how to deal with shit. That's the craziest thing.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to listen to you. A lot of people don't want to listen when you have a problem. It's not fun to them, so they go, "Ah, you'll be fine." They blow it off. It's always been blown off. Not a lot of people sit down and really listen to somebody's problem because the hardest thing is going to want to talk to somebody about your problem,
Well,
and
it's
that's
realistic because I know when I'd be at work and your boss asks you, "Hi, how are you doing?" You're supposed to say, "Hi, fine. How are you?"
fine. Yeah,
Yeah, you don't say, "Well, my sister's in the hospital and my dog's sick."
yeah.
Like because they're like, "Oh, I wasn't ready for that. I was just wanting to say you to say fine and move on."
But
You know?
sometimes you need someone to talk to, and you know what I mean? And, without saying that, then they look at you like you're a weirdo. But the fact is that, you know what I mean? Some people just you can see when people, like, they reach out to you, like, you don't even know them, and they're like, "Hey, man, I'm going through this. I heard you talking about this. What do you think I should" what would you do? Because they have no one to really talk to. So they come to someone they hear, but they probably never met, you know, and
Yeah.
for an answer. And it's kind of cool. You know what I mean? It's like I never say, "What the fuck, you're an idiot." Everybody's got everybody's got some shit that they need to talk to people. And that's what it is. If you don't have that, you just feel like you're fucked up, you know?
Well, I've noticed a lot of people just don't want to feel like they're alone in the world.
Yeah.
Especially when they have those, quote unquote problems, whatever they may feel, they feel
Hmm.
like they're the only person that has that problem.
They're
And
not,
they just want to feel like they're not alone. Even if you can't solve the problem, they just want to know, oh, I'm not alone. I'm not facing this battle alone.
Well, that's what it is. It's like, that's why I say you can talk about anything because anything that happens to you in a day, happens to everyone else.
Mhm.
Whatever you fucking think it, like that's how you get the common ground with people, by opening up about your life truthfully, because if you don't, they don't know how to, they don't see you as a person, when
Yeah,
you're doing this shit.
you're just like everyone else. You're statistic. I don't know.
An
You're like everyone
entertainer.
else.
You're like an entertainer to them, not to, you're fucking dancing for them, instead of, you know what I mean? If people can learn even just one little thing, you know what I mean? I know it's all fun and shit and that, but like, if I talk about something that's pretty deep, I do that for a reason. I don't need to bring up fucking the craziness in my mind a lot and that shit and how I was in the past. I do that to help people more than anything. It's not, what am I going to gain out of it? I can gain by stopping someone to go through a fucking nightmare.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that's a good thing. Because you don't want to be in a nightmare. You don't want to feel like, when you feel like you're all alone, oh my God, it's a horrible thinking in your mind,
Yeah.
and
Well,
people go to it.
I feel like I'm not saying you shouldn't go through it, but it does make us stronger too,
Oh yeah.
to have gone through it at least for a certain amount of time, and then I always say it's these fights in the mind are like a boxer. Like you can have someone in your corner to help you win the fight, but you can't
Mm,
win the fight uh with him. He can only help you, and
yeah.
then you have to take the fight on yourself,
Yeah, and
So
you gotta look back at that and go, "What could have I done different?" And that's the main thing, you know what I mean? It's alright, you win, you lose, you win, you lose, and whatever and everything, but you have to, if you do something that's fucked up, you have to look back and go, how could have I won? How could have I been better in that situation? And that's the only way you're gonna grow. You just can't go, "Fuck it, fuck them, fuck that." You can't be like that. And I was
no.
like that. I was like that. I was just fucking fuck everybody. You don't think like I do. Fuck you. I'll fucking kill you, you know? It's insanity when you look at it.
And was that because you? I don't know. Were you younger? What do you kind of entail that to?
That
Like,
was yesterday.
oh, it was
No, I'm kidding. No, I really
well,
think
every
that
day's different.
I really think that when I decided to stop drinking because I had a really bad thing, I wanted to really do something bad to somebody, and I stopped drinking. When I went to the doctor, he gave me these pills, and now I'm on Xanax, and now I'm fine at the beginning, and then all of a sudden it's like, I was insane. I was to the point where if you didn't agree or think like me, you were against me,
Hmm.
and I wanted to destroy you
I know that
physically,
feeling.
and it was bad. It was like, and it's like you don't see it. You don't see it. And a lot of times people are afraid to say anything to you. And if they say it to you, it's not really the caring way, because a lot of people are afraid to show that side. And they
Hmm.
just say, "You're fucked up. You're fucked up." And I'm like, "No, you're fucked up." So it doesn't go anywhere. It's not
Yeah,
like somebody really coming to you and go, "What are you doing? This isn't you." It's really hard, and it takes a while for somebody to do that.
yeah. You're gonna take it as like a threat when someone
Mhm.
telling you, "Hey, you need to change." It's like, no, you need to change. You need to get the fuck out of my life. And then
Yeah,
it's a
but
broken record.
it's like anything that's going to, change your mood if you take anything, you know what I mean? And it's like, you can say that, well, you smoke marijuana, you eat edibles, but it does something for me for pain, body pain. It does something for me. It puts me in a, "Hey, I'm gonna think before I say something to this," you know what I mean? And I really
Yeah.
do. I think about it, and I go to people. I'll go to my wife and say the situation, you know what I mean? I go to Shuli and say the situation, because he's a very calm thinking man, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I would say, this is what I'm thinking. Like I say it to, you know what I mean? Just because I don't want to be the guy that just, it doesn't do any good. it never ends well.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of I wouldn't say heat lately with everyone I know on the Twitter. Everyone's kind of back and forth with everyone else, and
Yeah, yeah.
I'm taking your side of that attitude. I'd rather not have any more heat. Just why can't everyone just I would say get along.
Uh,
I don't know.
well, that'll never happen on the internet. I mean, I used to have a
Hmm.
message board in like 2000, and it would change every day who was attacking who, and it's just the way it is. And to me, I watch it from afar. I don't really get too much involved with it. Like now, I don't have a lot of time to, but like I keep an eye on what's going on because by doing a show and not knowing what's going on, by doing a lot of shows and not knowing what's going on in everything around it, yeah, I definitely like I was just watching Melton,
Hmm.
before this, and I watch these little, a little clip of here and there. I'll watch for like a half hour, an hour, and I'm updated on it. Like Melton goes like 4 5 hours, but he really is uh comfortable in his seat that he does that show. Like he's
Hmm.
very good at what he does. And it's like amazing. When you watch somebody do something alone, you have to watch and see how they do it because doing something alone is not an easy thing.
Hmm. Hmm.
But you try to make it look easy, and that's what I like. I like watching people that make it look easy.
Well, yeah, and you're right. Like, you can stay out of you can't keep the drama from happening, but you have to sort of be aware of it because you don't want to, like, doing nothing is sort of even worse than doing something. Like you said, to just be kind of ignorant to it would you might accidentally cause something. Like you said, if you're doing a show with someone, it's like, well, why'd you do that with them? They
Oh
said
yeah,
this and
people
that.
people will flip out about that, or if you just say something nice. But
Yeah.
you have to look at it as a way that these are fans of, you know what I mean? These are fans, and fans. It's like anything else. As a fan, you have almost it's your team. And that's the way it is. You like when you it's like sports and you're gonna root for your team and you're gonna want the other team to fucking die in a plane crash. And it's no different than what this is. And is it entertaining? You damn fucking right it is.
Oh yeah.
You know what I
No,
mean?
definitely.
Because if you're gonna talk shit, people are going to find the stuff that you said and they're gonna play it. And you better be able to back it. Otherwise you're gonna look like a schmuck.
But then I like it to like old school wrestling. Like
Hmm.
sometimes it's good to have that heel versus babyface feud going on, and it helps everyone elevate. You know what I mean? If we could do it like if you could do it right and kind of make it into a event, this versus us versus them, then I'm sure it
Hmm.
would elevate everyone. But some people just like to take it personal. I'm sure
Yeah,
instead
but the
of
whole thing, the way I look at it, it is us against them. Everything I do. I am very loyal to the people I'm with, and I don't let anything happen. You know what I mean? I will fucking stay, I will fight with them, whether they're right or wrong. That's where I am. You know what I mean?
hmm
I
hmm
don't have to agree with everything, but you're not going to, I'm there for a reason. And
hmm
I don't just go somewhere. I want to go somewhere. I want to be somewhere. If they don't, if somebody doesn't want me, I look at them like you're crazy, you're stupid, and I move on because I've been doing this a long fucking time.
hmm
You try to be on the best shows that you can be on. That's where you go,
hmm
and that's
Trying.
where I'm happy. I am happy whether one show is fucking whatever. It's not a fucking show for everybody, MLC. But there's nothing like it. There's like, anything can happen any day. I have no idea what's going to happen. We don't have anything set up. We don't need anything set up because of the fact it just happens right there and it fucking goes, and it's good. It's really good, and there's no denying that. There's nobody safe. And that's the way it should be. That was old school. That was old, where Kid Chris was like that when I was with him at the beginning, and Howard. It was like that, man. Some days you were smiling, some days you were crying. That's the way it happens. And if
Mhm.
everybody's happy all the time, look, man, life isn't all fucking roses and fucking hand jobs. It's not. You
I wish
know.
it were. At
Well,
least one of those.
yeah. Well, you love roses. I've heard about it. No, but no, but it's like you if you fit in and it works and you understand what people are doing, you're like, okay, I got this. I get it. I know what to do. I know how this show is. It's like, look, I do a bunch of shows, but it's like, well, how am I going to do this show? Yeah, I'm going to do this one by myself. I'm going to fucking just go off the whole time. I'm going to talk 100 miles an hour and fucking talk, have fucking seeing things flip out, go that way, come back, and I have 5 different things going by myself, and that's the only way you can pull that off with it being entertaining, And
No,
then I
it
look at other
works.
shows. Well, it's fun.
Yeah, yeah,
It opens your mind. It's like, man, you got to be good. It's just you. You know what I
yeah.
mean? It's
And
like
you
you don't
said
have a choice.
it opens your mind. You said creativity. I'm sure it helps you think of better material later on, or something you might not have thought of. Just being improvising on the whim.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like it's so funny. It's like when coming up, I can do this, I can do that. And can somebody put something up? I got to read. Okay, now I got to be like looking at it and seeing, am I going to get this out right? But whether it works or not, doesn't work at that moment, it's still funny. Whether I can get out because that's not my strong part. And I think people know that reading is something I don't even know if when I read a book. You know what I mean? I would never like that would be like that would be a torture for me if somebody said you have to read a book for a year, otherwise we're going to kill you. I would say just kill me now. You know?
You could do the cigarette and the blindfold and take the firing squad. That's the way to go.
Yeah,
I just
it's
have a
fun.
couple questions here,
Sure.
and just random questions.
Hmm.
Have you ever seen? Do you ever watch anime? Have you ever seen any anime,
What is
like
that?
Japanese cartoons?
No,
You've never accidentally seen an anime or heard
I
of
I
an
see
anime?
it I see it for a second, like, and like if somebody follows me and I'll hit their thing and see, and it's like a picture, right? Of like whatever it
Yeah.
is, like a hero or something. It's like yeah, I've seen it, but I've never gone any further than that. I'm not following back, I don't know what this is.
Yeah, I would say you look like, if you ever hear of the cartoon Death Note, you
Mm-hmm.
look like Shinigami, which is
Is
like
he a
a
model?
death god.
What? Give me a picture of it. Send me that. I got to see it. Because yeah, I don't know. So he's like a model that he kills people.
Let me see if I can. Where's the share present? Share
That's
screen.
funny. It's like when they put my picture on everybody else's picture, it fits perfectly on everybody's picture, which is the weirdest thing. That's me. What the
No, no,
fuck are you?
not.
You
No,
son of
not
a
that.
bitch, you.
No, 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 not that. Let me see.
Okay,
Let me see. Being
that's fucking
funny.
funny. These things.
Let me see. Shinigami.
Shinigami. So what are these like series? Like
Here you go, like that. Are you seeing
well,
that? Where am
yeah. I
I?
mean, well,
Here I am.
that's
Where?
not me. How do you make it bigger? A little bigger.
Where? Where'd you go?
That's not me.
Hold on. I'm like lost on. Oh, here we are. Here you are.
Okay.
Yeah, right
Yeah.
there.
Can you bring it bigger? Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Thanks for the compliment. No, no. I mean,
Right there.
I,
Yeah,
okay.
Shinigami.
I like
Right
that.
there.
I try to get the hair like up and that shit, and it has the same jawline as me. I kind of like it. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, yeah. No, I think
yeah,
you could pull off being a Japanese death god.
I would like to. You know what I mean? I would like to expand over to Japan. Yeah, I would love to. Like, you know what? I would love to do comedy in like England, Ireland. Like, I would like that's kind of a dream to me. You know what I mean? To do
Yeah,
that,
you've
it would be
never
fun.
you've never gone like global like that.
No, I never. And there's enough people to get a decent crowd. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
when Howard
sure.
was out there, it was like you would get shit from like I was able to see on my website when I had a website of where like England was big, Ireland, like people listened, like the numbers weren't bad for thinking, oh my god, how the fuck are they listening? But Howard was worldwide, people would catch it. So it would be nice to do like that shit and fucking. I know they'll dig it, because they like it. They like it rough, in this country. I mean, they like it rough when they come see me, but I know people complain that it's a lot of pussies out there, and I don't have problems at shows, truthfully, because people, I guess, are coming for what they know they're going to get. It's hard to explain because you always hear people going, "Oh, you can't do this anymore. You can't. You can do anything you want. Just do it right."
Yeah.
I hate excuses.
Well,
People
that
use a lot of excuses.
that and if the joke doesn't really land like that and they're insulted, it wasn't funny enough to begin with. Like
Yeah,
sometimes they don't mind how hurtful or whatever the joke may be as long as it's funnier than it hurts, you know?
yeah. And if it does hurt, you move on. You don't go start yelling at the audience how you're too edgy for them. You know what I mean? It's like, no, no, you don't decide if you're too edgy. They do.
Yeah.
It's the funniest thing. Uh, People's fucking egos. It's a funny thing to watch. When you see people that are just think that they hear stuff different. They hear an audience laughing when it's not laughing, and that's a sickness. That's a mental illness, and
Well,
that's what I got
no,
in the comedy.
it's a downfall. It sure it's how you know, kingdoms have crumbled because
Oh
of
yeah,
egos like that.
oh yeah. Well, that's what it is. You know what I mean? I rather, people always say, "Why don't you? How come you don't do your own thing?" I rather make money with my friends and do stuff than doing on my own. I've always been like that. It's like, why, you know what I mean? Why don't you all want, everybody always cares about themselves. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I don't really, it ain't too big of a deal to me. You know what I mean? I enjoy the company of friends and see them doing good. You know what I mean? Like it's just, like we're doing it as a team. It's better to do things as a team than by yourself because you're like fucking that's when you go off and start fucking up because you know at least when you do it with other people you can blame somebody else once in a while and get into a little argument and then work it out. You understand? But
Hmm.
when you're by yourself you'll start blaming everybody. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? That your listeners and it's not. They're just seeing something. You know what I mean? But being in a group and coming up with different ideas with people that are very good at what they do is to me where I'm comfortable. Like me being a boss, I'm the boss of whatever at home or whatever, of what, not something like this. I take care of shit a different way. But I like to work with people that are talented.
Well, yeah, and then they play. Let's say you have weaknesses. They have those strengths in the areas where maybe you have your weaknesses.
Well, I
So,
have no
uh,
weakness because I'm the Death Star. No, but
you
like it's like when you can just grab something and go, and somebody else goes boom, 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 and then they go boom, and it's just taking off on a different directions out of nowhere. That's what's brilliant.
oh yeah,
You
it's
know what I
beautiful.
mean?
Hmm.
Everything else isn't brilliant. You know what I mean? I can talk about whatever is in the news. That's just my opinion. When you're making great radio or for something that somebody just one word and it just goes into a fucking bit that we're just fucking destroying on, and it's hilarious because of the fact that's what you're supposed to do.
Hmm.
That's the key. You know what I mean? That's the key to fucking doing a show. Being able to, even when we watch the Stutter and John thing, the funniest things is when we just go off on it. And I always say, that's the show. That's the show. You know what I
That's
mean? Right
it's
there.
magic.
That's where it's
Yeah.
gotta be,
No.
and
Uh-huh.
you're always finding out shit. And the more you lock it down to what the shows are that you're doing, it just explodes more, And people that get it are like, "Wow, this is really fucking this makes my day, my night go through whenever I'm in a bad mood, I can change, you know what I mean? Whatever shit is going on in life, I can sit down and watch this at any time now and get a laugh."
And it's just beautiful magic. It is just having your team there on your side.
Well, yeah, without a team, you're shit. You know what I mean? Truthfully, you're just fucking a lunatic. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? You are a lunatic if you don't have a team because you don't have people that are going to talk you up. You don't have people that are going to talk you down when it's time. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? And I need
Hmm.
that sometimes. I'm still like that. Sometimes I get a little fucking, I'm a little fucking fuck everything, and I got to be talked to. And I am like that. But by myself, I'm not good like that. But now everybody understands that, sometimes, yeah, I am just that person that's going to, I will fucking explode a little bit. But then when I'm talked to, and if you're with the right people that will talk to you the right way, correctly, you understand, and you're like, wow, yeah, I'm okay now.
Well,
I'm
yeah, and then
okay.
you grow as a person, and you learn from your mistakes. Hopefully, you learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
If you, yeah,
Well,
unless you're like you, they're perfect, the perfect man, this perfect specimen.
there's nobody perfect. You know what I mean? That's why, like guys are like a little weird. Even I was like this when I was younger. I'd be like, "Oh, look at that girl! She's so beautiful." I would never go ask her. Nobody asks her out because everybody feels like you feel.
Hmm.
You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And it's like, and then you're like, "Oh, why is she dating him?" Because he asked her. You know what I mean? It's like you can't sit back and worry about, you know what I mean, of getting a no, getting a. I never asked people for a job. I never would say I want. Oh God, how do you do this? So get me. I want to work at your club and like fucking call people. I was terrible at that because one little thing. If they said call me back Monday, I'd be like, who the fuck is this? You know what I mean? Because it's a different world when that you come from. So you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I see how people are. You put up a date, so people comedians are like, hey, can you get me on? You know what I mean? They're hungry, but I looked at it as a weakness.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
You
hear
know, it's like what the fuck? Go fucking do it yourself. I don't even want to do it. You know what I mean?
you.
Like I don't even want to call people because it's like because who you're putting what you do for a living in charge of somebody that just happens to have rooms. You would know nothing about comedy, otherwise you'd be doing it. And now you're going to tell me how much I'm worth and how what to do at your club? No, no, no. It's very hard, if you have any kind of morals of what you're doing. And you get fucking and that was another problem of mine. I like to tell people to go fuck themselves.
Well,
I
isn't that
was
the
always like
best?
that.
Isn't that the best feeling to tell someone go fuck
Yeah,
themselves?
but you know what I mean? It's sometimes it's not warranted. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's not, and that's why I always sit back and I don't say anything. I take it in, and then I'll ask people close to me, "What do this is where I'm thinking this is. What do you think?" You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
then if they agree with me, then I'm like, I'm not okay. I'm not just jumping because jumping is not a good fucking thing, and people jump all the fucking time because they don't. It's just power. Everybody thinks they're more powerful than somebody else, and they're not going to take that. You're not going to talk to me, and fucking you jump, you pounce, you're gonna now you're gonna fucking go run into your little cage like a dog, and you're gonna realize you don't do that. So it's like you can't always jump, but that's the whole thing.
Yeah, it's like a good hand of poker. You got to know when to hold them, when to fold them, and all that
Oh, you don't
other.
even know Kenny Rogers fucking songs to me, fucking areola.
But yeah, I know you're short on time.
No, no, keep going. I like
Oh
you.
no.
You're a good dude. You know what I mean? You know what what's good about you? You're a joy. You know what I mean? You're just a. I could tell you're a good person. You have no hate in your life
Ooh, I
except for
don't know about
yourself.
that.
No, for
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah,
Right? But that's okay. But that could be fixed. You understand?
yeah.
But you have the joy. You could see it in you that you're not a hateful person. You're not. You get a little down, and everybody gets down.
Well, I think I've centered all my hate to myself and to my
Mhm.
mother because I
Okay.
just I'm so much like my mother, but I want to
You got a
be the
pussy?
best. Uh, no, I don't. I wish I did. I'd have a lot of fun with it. Uh, but no, I'm just like her, but
Mhm.
I don't want to be. So I'm trying to be a better version of her. You
Yeah.
know. But
Yeah.
she's just pure evil. I try to use it for good, and that's why it gets to that point where it's like, you know what? I don't hate. I don't need to hate the world. I just need to hate my mother and myself.
Yeah, but
That
you don't
works for
need to
me.
hate yourself because that's like look, I mean, by being evil to people is not good. You know what I mean? It's just
Hmm.
not. It's like because you're too much energy. It's you're focusing and you're getting away from everything that's important. If, when I used to think about things and people, fucking, and I'm like fucking all day, man, fucking go to sleep. It's too much, dude. I wake up now. I don't give a fuck. You understand? It's
Hmm.
like when you can free your mind of all this fucking bullshit, it's a good thing. And I'll tell you, these cookies work good. I didn't even do any tonight. I take a little piece. I don't get fun. It just makes everything better. It clears your mind. You can think better. And really, it's not like, people will go to alcohol. They get, uh, alcohol and anger is a terrible, having anger and then alcohol is a terrible mixture.
Hmm.
Okay. When you can have a couple of drinks in a hanging out, laughing kind of it's so much, you know what I mean? There's so many sides to alcohol. It's depending how you use it and how it uses you.
Hmm.
And you see certain people that cannot drink. It just makes them into a different person. And but it's supposedly for a relaxing kind of thing after a hard day, whatever, however people use it. It's supposed to be kick back, have a drink, barbecue. You know what I mean? It's a different situation than using it as anger. And it's anything, any kind of fucking pills or anything like that. It's like it's supposed to be it's supposed to be a certain thing, but you cannot believe, certain things, liquor and weed are the only things that totally how they're going to affect you. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
You totally know the direction it's going to be in because like nobody ever, you're mad at somebody. I'm going to go smoke some weed. Just be laughing while you're mad at them. You will see the situation from inside your own mind. That's what this does for you.
Mhm.
Okay? Alcohol is like, yeah, that guy's an asshole. Fuck him. And fucking you just go off. And it just works that way with people. You know,
Yeah,
when you can
it's the devil on your shoulder telling you like, "Oh yeah, you got this. Go fuck with him."
you're right
You
again. You're always right. We don't need anybody. You got me. And you're fucking hugging the bottle. You know what I mean? You can't use it like that. You can't use it. It'll be your destruction. The destruction of you because of the fact that you know you're using that for that hatred, you know, or to just think that you're right. You know, there's nothing wrong with being right, but there's nothing wrong with being wrong sometimes either, you know? But
Oh yeah.
if you can't understand that you're wrong when everyone's telling you, you're never going to understand. And that's why people don't try to help after a while because it's like talking to, you know, a fucking lamp.
Have you ever dabbled in other types of drugs like
Yeah.
mushrooms or anything like
Mushrooms,
that?
I never, I used to take mescaline when I was younger. That was it. It was like acid.
Oh, okay.
Was in like a brown pill, like a see-through thing, like, and it had like a dot in it. It's like it's totally like acid, but we used to take it almost every weekend for a while when we had a shore house because you would stay up basically the whole weekend, and you can drink on it and not get drunk, which is crazy.
Hmm.
And we rented a house for I remember for 2,500 for the summer, and at the end of the year we got sued for 7,500 because of all the like we put a hole in the wall and threw garbage in it instead of bringing it outside. We broke all the furniture over every each other. Like somebody would fall asleep in the bed, we put a dresser on them, pile up lamps on it, everything, and then when you had like a big crash, and if somebody was too drunk to go out or fucked up, we tie them to the kitchen table and go out. And the next thing you know, that's we just throw it out on the side of the house. I mean, it was no rules. We had no. It's like you had no rules,
Hmm.
and it was crazy. It was stupid. But you know, you look at it now and you're like, hey, at least well, some of us are alive.
Well, it's a memory. It's like, oh, I shouldn't have done it at that time, but now it's funny to just
Well, yeah, it's funny
relive.
to look at it and you just try to fucking say, look, this is not how you do things. Even though it was fun, that's the hard fucking thing when you're like, what the fuck am I trying to, and what am I trying to teach people for? Because that is an asshole move. So, yeah, but drugs was bad. And the coke, everything. It was a
Coke.
lifestyle. Yeah, I used to sell it just so I can. I would run. You know, uh, if I got an 8 ball, I would cut it up. It would come out to like 6.5, 7 grams. I paid maybe 250 for it. So now you're at about $40 a half. 80 a gram. So you're still like, you know what I mean? You got enough. But then I would do it more. Then, you know, it's unstoppable. And then when the guy would come and go, I need the money. I'm like, you're going to have to give me more because I did it all. And then you start getting into this thing. And then I'm like, look, I don't have it, man. Too bad, you know? And it's like fucking, then shit breaks out.
Hmm.
It's just not good. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it's like you don't care. It's like alcohol. It's like anything. If you know what I mean? As long as you're doing it at the moment, you don't give a fuck about anybody, anything. And that's just the way it is. And when it goes away, you're like, oops, sorry. And, you know, people,
Cocaine sounds fun. I've never
it
really
used to
done
be.
other drugs other than just whatever's prescribed by my doctor. I've tried a little
Hmm.
marijuana. I didn't really like it. Alcohol, I cannot drink. I think I drank half a bottle of a beer once, and it just screwed me up. Made me more like a sad drunk. You know.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what alcohol is. It's for so many different ways that people are. And
Hmm.
it's like, hey, come on over to me. I'll fix that. But it really doesn't, you know. I mean, you have to really be able to know. Like, I won't have more than 2 drinks probably. I'll have a whiskey on the rocks. I'll have that, drink it. Before I go on stage, I'll have another one. I probably don't even finish the other one. I don't go out and drink, you know what I mean? I don't drink really at home. I haven't drank at home in so long, you know what I mean? Like, I'll
Hmm.
have once in a while when I do out of the coffin, I'll have, a drink, you know? That's it. But it's not like I'm having fucking 5 of them or something like, you know what I mean? I have 1. I have the one thing and maybe add a little to it, but that's it. I have like a set thing. You don't wanna go past that because I know I'm not good with it. I
Yeah.
know that, you're gonna say something stupid or do something stupid, and, I've done enough of that in my life.
And, and what do you think? If you weren't in comedy right now, what would you be doing? As
Uh,
far as like, you have no idea.
I no, I wouldn't be doing anything good, and I probably I probably wouldn't be here right now, no doubt, because there was so many opportunities to do bad things, and I've done bad things. I've done when I was younger, and I would have fell into it, and no, it's never good. I look at this as comedy definitely saved my life, no matter how far or whatever I go in it or went in it. No doubt, you know what I mean.
Hmm.
There's no doubt that this was something that happened out of a bad thing. It didn't happen for anything because I loved comedy or anything. It's just something stupid that we were doing, and somebody said you should try the comedy because you're fucking good at busting people's balls, and that's how I got into it. I got into it from just getting people to fight us at a bar, at our bar that we didn't know, and I just make fun of them until they wanted to fight us. And I was listening to Howard Stern at the time,
Hmm.
and Jackie had an open mic in Jersey, and my friend's like, "You should try this. You're good. You got good, and people seem to get upset and emotions when you do it. To start with people." So that's how I got into it. And people like always, "Who's your favorite comedian?" I'm like, "Me," because I don't fucking listen. If somebody sent me a tape or something, I'll watch a little bit of my friends in that for a little bit. I can't watch it. I can't watch shit. I don't give a fuck. I know I understand comedy. I understand who's fucking yeah, they're good. They're good. This person who did this, that. Yeah, that's great. But if I'm going to sit here and I'm not going to sit here and listen to anyone else. Nobody. I don't even listen to myself. I can't even take myself. It's just that it's just something that you can either do or you can't do. And it's easy to get into. It's hard to be able to make a living. And when you can do that, it's like things are right, things are good. And if you can go up there and fucking kill a lot of time, like fucking, you know, you're always doing very good to killing it. It's an amazing feeling, and it doesn't seem like work, but it is, and you can never forget that because every show, no matter what, is the last one you did, and you better fucking have people walk out of there saying you were fucking really good at what you do. Otherwise, you fucking want to kill yourself.
Well, yeah, and then word spreads. If you have a bad show, it might spread to the next show, and people will say, "Oh, he's not worth watching," you
Well,
know.
that's what it is. Even if one person says that, I try harder.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter. It's like uh, it's all you. It's like fucking, I used to play in bands. You sit there and it's 3 other fucking people, and and then you can fucking, they'll listen at the end of the song, they'll clap if they want to. If not, you just go into another song. Comedy's a different thing. You're up there by yourself, and man, I see people dying. I'm like, it's fucking funny because I'm like, how do you not take your life? I don't know, by doing that. How do you not just walk away with it? Imagine like just being punished every time something you love and you're just not good at it. Truthfully, you're just not good at it, and that's a fucking hard thing. It's like playing baseball when you're a kid. If the kid was in right field you knew you didn't hang out with him. He was terrible. You know what I mean? He was just it was horrible. It was just like somebody made him play. He shouldn't be playing, and it's like don't do it. If you're not good at something, don't do it. Go into something that you're good at. There's always something somebody's good at. There's something out there that you're gonna do better than anyone else.
But I think the as far as being a comedian, we need those terrible ones to make guys like you even better. You know what I mean?
No,
Like you have the bad ones sprinkled everywhere, and they make y'all like you sir or anyone else like look like, oh my god, it does take work. Like you can't
yeah,
just do this. You can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna go up on that microphone and give it a try. And it's
yeah.
like, no, it actually fucking takes work. Like,
No, you see, I'd rather work with like I work when I work with Kevin Brennan. He's a fucking headline. He's a beast. He goes on before me. I'm like, I gotta fucking figure out this. And that's what makes you better. That's what makes people go, that
that
show
too,
was
yeah.
fucking amazing. You know what I mean? Because
Hmm.
you don't want to be, when you're on a shitty show, it's like, oh, fucking just get me up there already. These people are fucking having a horrible time. I don't want to be on those shows. I want to work. I want to work to fucking to do to fucking I want people to basically that are in front of me that are going to destroy that make me fucking wake up and go, now you got to fucking do that more, you know?
Hmm.
And that's how you get better. You don't get better by fucking being on a pile of shit. And I know people see these shows. They go to shows and they're like the first two people suck. And I don't get that. Why would clubs do that? Why do bookers put that together? Is it really worth saving the money? It's not. It's not.
And I know you have I wanted to ask you have your was it out of the coffin with Bob
Mhm,
Levy? Do you
mhm.
plan to let's say later on in life when you do pass, how much are you going to justify spending on a coffin? Are you going to get cremated? Do you have any do you think that
Uh,
far?
well, yeah, well, I always say I wanna be cremated, and she doesn't want me to be. She wants to, get a pla but, I don't ever think I'm gonna die. I'm like fucking, I shouldn't be alive now, and it's like and everything I'm everything, doctors would hate. Because when they hear when I go in there and tell them that, and they just, I don't know how. I just don't know how this is happening. When they check everything and they're like, it makes no sense to me. And I kind of like that. So that gives me mentally power to fight off anything probably that wanted to attack me because it's just amazing. Like it shouldn't be like this, and I
Hmm.
understand that. But when you have doctors telling you that I can't even tell you smoke, I can't even tell this, I can't, it's amazing that. So I mean, no, I would. Uh, I don't know if I want to be buried. I don't know what I want to be. You know what I mean? Truthfully, I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah.
I don't try not to think about it. I just try to think about having so much fun every day. It's like if this could have been if life today could have been where it was when I was 30, it would be insanity of how greatness it would be. How the feeling of this is I've hit it the mark where everything everything is just it's amazing. It's like you don't think, but it's supposed to happen at this time. It wasn't supposed to happen at that time because it wouldn't have worked. I would have
Hmm.
fucked it up.
And so it
And
all just fell. The pieces fell and fit into the right spots at the
yeah,
right times.
yeah, and I think that's what, you make mistakes, and I'm the first one to admit that I make a lot of mistakes because everybody makes mistakes, and you got to be able to own it. Otherwise, you're never going to get to that point that you want to be. You know,
Hmm.
you're never going to get to it. I mean, people just fucking continue to make mistakes and don't want to listen Or just even, it's not about listening. It's just about, take a fucking hint. You know, people don't even want to take a hint anymore. It's just blind design, straightforward, right into the fire.
And do you believe in like a
Nope.
afterlife? Do you believe in a
Uh,
soul?
you know what? The way I look at it, I always thought this would be the greatest movie. That actually, this is hell. What we're living in now,
Mm-hmm.
and when you die, you're like, oh my god, that was hell. That was a test. That was a test. Just getting through life or whatever this is.
Mm-hmm.
And it is. If you look at it, for most people, they have to work 5, 6 days a week. Then they have a family that you don't see the family as much. You know what I mean? It's very hard for the majority of people. This right here,
Mm-hmm.
it's like how many people are really enjoying their life if you really look at it, if people were honest. Not a lot of people, you know what I mean? There has to be 40% of the people out there that are going, I gotta fucking wake up tomorrow and do this bullshit again. At least that. And it's a horrible way to look at it because this is supposed to be life, but it's a lot of work. It's a
Yeah,
lot of fucking
it,
work.
it's a trial that you just have to deal with. And no, I get it. I have those thoughts too when I'm working my regular job, and getting overtime and like, is there more to this? But
No.
this is the world we live in. What can I do but just live in this frequency? There's no other frequencies we're living in.
Well, yeah, it's always a way to try to figure out. You have to figure out everything. There's always an escape hatch that you have to find, and it's there. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, there's always something that you're going to be better at than 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 everybody else. But some people don't find what it is.
Hmm.
Some people are just like, "This is where I am. I can just pay my bills. I can just get by. I see my kids one day." No, that's not. You can't settle. You have to
Hmm.
figure out. There's something else that's a little better for you.
Yeah, you have to find that right combination, and eventually you find it, and I don't know, it makes this life worth. I mean, we
You
live
have
it.
good and bad days. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like everybody goes through those fucking things.
Hmm.
And sometimes you're in a fucking slump. You're in a hole for a while and you're like, "What the fuck?" And when it snaps over, you're like, "Oh my god, this is so great." But as it snaps over, you can go, "Oh my god, it was so bad there." And and the good thing is that you can let people know, yeah, you can come back from anything. You really can, you know. It's like you got to stop feeling sorry for yourself, and that's when you can move forward. And until then, you're not. You know what I mean? Yeah, it gets lonely when everything's falling apart. You don't think anybody's there for you. And if you agree with how bad it is in your mind and that shit, it's going to be horrible.
Oh
But
yeah.
it's when you finally say, fuck this shit, and you start moving the other way, you're looking back and go, man, I wish I could have done that earlier. I almost did, but then I went back to fuck this again.
Well, yeah, and then the not doing it is the bigger regret than the what if I did it and messed up.
It's
Like,
alright to mess up. Everybody fucking messes up, you know what I
oh yeah.
mean? Everybody fucking messes up, but if you don't take a chance at anything, anybody can failing is easy, feeling bad for yourself is the simplest thing, you know what I mean? You just give up and you're like, whatever, I'll just let it, you know, this bullshit last until it's over. No, man, that's not the way to do it. Just fucking, get over it. Get over it. Stop being a bitch and move on. And then you'll realize, geez, I was so stupid back then, But at least you can help other people by telling your story,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because they're in it. So many people are in, you know. whatever reason, you just think, not everybody's against you. Not life is against you. Sometimes you're not trying it hard enough.
I think that's how my mom was, and that's how I am at times, where I feel like the world might be against me. You never
Yeah, but
know.
it's not. A lot of times the world don't give a fuck, you know what I mean,
Yeah,
about you, and
it
it's
doesn't even know
okay.
you exist. The world
Exactly.
doesn't know you exist.
So you're fucking using an excuse to hold yourself down, and so you can feel bad for yourself. No, it's bullshit, man. Move on, move up. I'd rather fall from up here and fucking fall all the way down than fucking just fall over from down there. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
fall from
yeah.
down there, nobody even notices. If
Uh
nobody
huh.
notices, yeah, you're doing something wrong.
No, you gotta take those big risks to
Yeah.
win big.
Yeah, it's not, it's not, like I said, it's not always about winning. It's about not losing.
Hmm.
You don't have to be the king, but you don't have to be a fucking piece of shit laying on the fucking floor, drying up and turning gray.
Well, I think that's a good way to end that.
Mhm.
You can't just be a piece of shit. I want to thank you for coming on, man. I know you have a
Yeah,
busy schedule. You do so much stuff. I want you to go ahead and plug it. I know you have like Levy Land, Out of the Coffin,
yeah.
Shuli.
Yeah, the Shuli Network, go on the Shuli Network, .com for the tickets to the May 13th show. Uh, we got a lot of shows. We got more coming on, and MLC podcast on YouTube, 4 o'clock every day. Except for Friday, it'll be at 5 o'clock, and MLC podcast on Patreon. .com. If you like a lot, if you like, if you don't like people blowing smoke up each other's ass, MLC is the greatest show that you'll ever see. It's like, it's not about, oh yeah, remember you did this and everybody, oh yeah, it's like comedians will blow smoke. It's not about that. You don't need smoke blown up your ass, even though it feels good,
Nah, just.
but it's not
Uh,
good. It don't make you work
well,
harder
no, I
if
want
you
to
get.
thank you, man. And sometimes you can't kink shame. Some people like what they like. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That doesn't
that's
sound
okay.
like the worst I've heard.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, I want to thank you for taking the time to be on here. I know you're a busy man. You're essentially a god amongst men.
yeah.
Thank you so
I'm the
much.
death
Yeah,
god.
everyone check out the Shuli Network. You're the Shinigami, the death god.
That's right.
anyone
Send me
would
that
be
picture.
anyone would be happy to have that. I'll send you that picture. Oh yeah, I'll send it to
Yeah,
you on the Twitter.
yeah. Send it
But
in
yeah,
the
no, thank you so much.
Twitter inbox. Send it so I know how to get it. I'm not good at this shit. That's the only way I can get it.
Hell, hell yeah, I'll
You know,
send that to
man.
you. But thank you for being on. I appreciate your time and yeah, I hope to you know be on any of your stuff anytime you need
Definitely.
any guests or something. I'm always up for the invite.
You got
But
it, buddy.
yeah, thanks for being here and you have a great rest of your week, man. Take care.